President Trump confirming moments ago on Truth Social that he is delaying tariffs against Mexico here when it comes to what exactly can be anticipated here. He's saying that over the next month, he's delaying it by a month here, saying that over the next month, we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, also Scott Bessent, head of Treasury, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and high-level representatives there of Mexico. He said he looks forward to continuing the conversation here with Mexico's president as they do attempt to, quote, achieve a deal between the two countries. You're looking at the market's reaction to this, bouncing off the lows of the session, a bit of a give back here from what we've been seeing here. You're looking at the Dow now off just about 0.3%, the NASDAQ still down about 1%. Yahoo Finance's Ben Werschkul, our DC correspondent, joining us now with the latest. Ben.
Yeah. Hey, Shauna. So yeah, as you just mentioned, sort of the big news here on the Mexico side of this, but some still open questions. This has been kind of a trend throughout these talks back and forth, where Trump somewhat counterintuitively is harder on Canada than he is on Mexico. He also updated this morning on the Canadian talks. He talked to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau this morning. He sounded much less optimistic coming out of that, raising new issues about Canadian banking and things like that, and then said that he will talk to Canada again at 3 p.m. But like you mentioned, the Mexico one is the mover right now that he's going to delay these by a month. The Mexican president has also confirmed that as they continue these high-level talks on fentanyl and illegal migration are the key issues for him right now.
And Ben, I was just talking with Shauna about this in the break, kind of the differences between Canada and Mexico here when it comes to this fentanyl argument coming from the White House and immigration. Talk to me about how that positions Trudeau as we potentially get that phone call between Trump and Trudeau heading into this afternoon. Yeah,
I think Trudeau is in a really tough position here right now because the migration and fentanyl arguments the data just doesn't bear out that Canada is a big issue here. They are on the rise. There are reports, and the White House has cited these, that there is increased illegal migration and increased drugs passing through the border, but it's still just a tiny fraction of Mexico. And China is also a huge player in this, in that they sort of tend to do the precursors. It goes to labs in Mexico and comes into the U.S. The trade through Canada is really minimal. So it's led to a lot of questions about exactly what Canada can do here. And so far, they haven't been able to figure this out. They've talked about increased border activity to decrease this. But the bottom line here is that if you're really looking to tackle the issue of drugs and fentanyl and illegal migration, the Mexican border is the key one. And Canada, by all accounts, is kind of a side player on this, although it is growing slightly.
Ben, where does that leave the conversation with China?
The China, we still don't know yet. So China is due for 10% tariffs. Also tonight at midnight at 12:01. We don't have any updates on that from the White House right now. And those are ongoing. What China has promised is that they're going to retaliate through the World Trade Organization. They're going to do a lawsuit that way. So it's unclear what that would be or how much conversations were there. What Trump has said, and he said this last night into today, is that he's talking today with Canada and Mexico. We don't even know exactly what sort of conversations are like with China at this point. He seems to be focused on our immediate neighbors for the moment.
He did over the weekend to talk about, President Trump spoke specifically about the European Union. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
European Union is really out of line. UK is out of line, but I'm sure I think that one can be worked out. But the European Union it's an atrocity, what they've done. With the European Union, it's $350 billion deficit.
Ben, if we're already saying that we're awaiting clarity on China tariffs, that the focus is Mexico and Canada, when could we anticipate clarity on any tariffs related to the EU?
That's a good question. Trump has outlined February 18th as one of the deadlines he's watching. So he's sort of signaling it's going to be very soon. His stance with the EU is that there will absolutely, is his word, be new tariffs coming, but has been kind of vague on the timeline. I'd also add that in recent days it's just a wide array of threats. EU has been the most intense, as you noted, but he's also talked about new semiconductor tariffs, copper, steel, and aluminum tariffs, issues like that on specific sectors that he's planning to roll out either in the weeks or months ahead. So he promises they're coming. Exactly how it does and exactly how much this Mexico delay changes that is we're still sorting out.
All right, Ben, thanks so much for breaking down the latest
headlines
that we're getting out of Washington.